Spending £250 on one hybrid for some golfers is just ridiculous. But if your long approach play is in despair, sometimes it can seem like the only, well, answer. However, if money and more forgiving technology isn't the answer, what exactly is? In this video, I want to show you 3 of my best budget hybrids going into 2024. And of course, not forgetting my ultimate cheat stick towards the end. But these hybrids are all designed for completely different golfers, which to be honest is a very simple overlooked component. And to be honest, once you understand this, you'll be able to choose any brand of hybrid, knowing that it's going to suit you. Now, when it comes to launch and spin, it definitely takes 2 to tango, which is why throughout this video, I just want to explain how and when different head types and golf balls can make such a difference when you're trying to get it on the green. And in places, the more premium ball, not actually being the best golf ball, for well, your game. So before we go into my first pick, which is essentially the greatest of all time when it comes to hybrids, Vice have actually got a promo on this month, whereas if you spend $100 on golf balls, as I'm showing here, you get a navy blue Vice crew cap all together, which isn't necessarily a bad deal if you're looking to try Vice or you're looking to stock up. It would have been a devastation if I'd done this video without Adams being included. And this isn't in my top 3 list. They're a bit more expensive, more modern, and well, generally newer, but I need to give you the bottom end, the biggest budget, pound for pound, best for your buck, you name it, when it comes to hybrids. Considering I nearly missed the face, goes to show how forgiving it is. Not the worst efficiency for something that you'd pick up for less than £30. At one point in time, Adams was the go-to in the hybrid section for many a player. Now it's almost forgotten, apart from the revamp from TaylorMade over the last year. But because there's not much awareness, it means very affordable, and they come in multiple head styles, which will be much more apparent as I go through this video. So if you want to spend next to nothing on the right head, the right shaft, and the right hybrid for you, well, I don't know what to suggest apart from this. Right, let's kick things off with my first pick for that more advanced player. The one that rarely misses the middle and wants to hit that low fizzing punch shot into their long par 3 or long par 5. I can tell you right now, no wind is touching that shot right there. Let's talk about head shape and the impact it makes when the head isn't as long front to back. As golfers, we get confused when we see this image a lot, where we see that shaft bend backwards, but what we don't realize is that head actually catches up to the point of impact for so many golfers. And shaft and club head speed obviously make a massive difference, but so does head design. And the more the head is longer from the face, the more the center of gravity is back. Now, I want to keep this simple and obviously have a stiff flex shaft in here. And for that faster club head speed player, that blue driver is essentially your X-stiff with very minimal torque, whereas the yellow driver shaft and head combination would be your regular flex. Super forgiving, very big head style. And this is the first thing to learn when choosing shaft and choosing head design, because if your bad shot is this, well, you're gonna want the yellow combination. However, if you're that faster player that hits a bit of a draw, plays in a lot of tough windy conditions, and needs something that isn't going to go super high and left, well, a stiff flex or an X-stiff flex shaft with a smaller headed Apex Callaway 2019 combination could well be your answer. Oh, maybe I do need a reg flex shaft. We can get lower than that. Oh, be the one. Get a bit of grip on it. Not bad spin from that trajectory, which is probably why I should mention the ball I'm using. Guarantee I'm never playing that shot in a tournament conditions under the pressure. However, incredibly low launch, and the spin has helped stay in the air. And even though I've exaggerated, it got me a tiny bit of stoppage close to the green because I've been able to produce that. And of course, I use the Pro Plus from Vice, which is obviously the more premium ball. Just like every other brand would have that urethane cover and that 4-piece combination. But just as well as it's reacting good around the green, even from those shots out the rough, for example, you want that higher spin. I don't need any more distance, I need control, and I don't need that thing flying out the back. I need it stopping, even if I am trying to play low controlled shots. For my next choice, I chose a hybrid that doesn't do well in the second-hand market because every manufacturer makes this kind of head style. Hence why I want to give you the information to choose your own hybrid, even if you don't like my choices. What I mean by that is Ping, for example, don't make this particular head style. They don't make anything this shallow front to back. And that's because they're known for forgiveness. So it wouldn't make sense to get this particular head style in their lineup. Unlike TaylorMade, for example, that has the TaylorMade M3. Again, hopefully you're starting to see some conclusions here. But again, I was shocked when I saw the price label at Replay Golf for this club. Hence why not only is it going into my all-round hybrid choice, but also my modern day choice as well, because, well, this club was still current last year. There's the height we're wanting. Now I want to talk about price and what generation you should look for because it's quite recent and the price of this really does fluctuate when it comes to buy it now and auctions. And I want to give you some cheaper options because let's be honest, the technology hasn't really changed. And putting shafts to one side, hopefully you're starting to see the head types change as we go through this list. Less offset on the left-hand side and smaller front to back. More offset and slightly larger with the PXG, and my third option almost looking like a fairway would. But in this category, it's a lot harder for me to not recommend this head style to a lot of you out there, because let's be honest, all of us want a bit of forgiveness. And if you're that faster player that doesn't play on the side of the ocean, i.e. links golf with calm day being 30-mile-an-hour winds, well, as I evidently showed with my fat right there, that's your safe cheat stick getting down the middle of the fairway. For that more average swing that potentially comes over the top and obviously having a softer flexion shaft, maybe regular flex, then this again is going to do the job. Tiny bit fast and tiny bit left. As I say, this was going to do the job for that player as well, hence why it's kind of my all-rounder. As I show you with the prices in a minute, this is a safe option because it's basically lost all of its retail value in that sharp decline in the first 2-year period. If you love your 3-wood, you're a fast player, get a 422 degree like this one, as it's going to gap nicely into your 4-iron in your actual set of clubs. If you love your 5-wood, however, and that goes comfortably 190 to 200 yards, then get a 5 hybrid in this, as that will then go to 180, 190, and then your 5-iron at 170, 175 will then also gap quite well. If you predominantly go high and left on the golf course, get a stiff flex shaft, and if you go low right on the golf course predominantly, well then get a regular flex shaft. And let me show you some bargains, because luckily PXG have labelled all their years by generation. I'd go Gen 2, and I'll show you some bargains here on the right-hand side, as it's not that old that it won't break apart in your hands, but also good value. Gen 3, Gen 4, Gen 5, obviously going to get more expensive. Plus, as it was difficult to recommend a hybrid for you guys, because it's basically an all-rounder, the faster players definitely could use this. Use that as a Pro Plus if you're not losing tons of golf balls every round. However, if you're that mid-handicap player, the Vice Tour for me just makes sense, because you can lose a ball and then obviously not cry over it. If you rarely lose a ball, but you're the slower player, you need less spin from everywhere but the green, well then the Pro Air then makes sense, as it's going to give you that distance, but then also the control around the green. If you're just starting and you want a hybrid in the bag because you've seen them and you want to try it, firstly, I recommend this bad boy. And to be honest, any golf ball will do, because it's just not that much consistency. But if you don't want to search in the bushes for your stock in terms of getting around the golf course for your ammo, the Vice Drive here on the right-hand side is incredibly good value and will definitely do the job in the interim as you get better. I mean, just look at the two previous head designs compared to my last choice. You can see why I said it's almost a fairway wood. It's for the same reason that I see so many pros using the Callaway Apex utility wood nowadays on those calm days that they find the fairway consistently. They couldn't care about shot shape or control. They want forgiveness, that high launch, and it's going to stop quite quickly because of the fact. And obviously my last pick, my secret cheat stick, is going to do something different than all of the ones that we have here. But Titleist, after 4 years, somewhat plummets in price, probably because of their 2-year staggering when they release clubs. And I'm not talking about the TSI range. I'm talking the fact that it has a 1 at the back of it. You can see how offset, you can see how big that head is. And this is particularly for those players that do swing a bit slower, want ultimate height, ultimate launch. And when you combine it with a low spinning golf ball as well, well, of course you're going to get more distance from that normal slice that you hit from the fairway. That was at 87 miles an hour. 170 yards carry, which is what I'd want from this particular club. I mean, let's go even slower. Oh, that's on the money. 80 miles an hour, your more senior golfer. The one that has the 7-iron that goes 130, and the 6-iron goes 130, and the 5-iron goes 130. However, this high lofted 5 hybrid, and you can even get a 6 hybrid if you want to gap even more into your 7-iron, has carried 160 yards at 80 miles an hour. Even though we've hit down on the ball, steep, and come across it, it still had enough launch and enough spin to stay well in the air. This for me would have to be reg flex maximum, even senior flex, 40 gram, 50 gram shafts. And for that player that's gradually getting slower, pro air, if you never lose a golf ball, because you'll still be able to use that chipping technique that you've mastered over the last 40 years. Or for that beginner shooting over 100, the Vice drive, as let's be honest, distance is the bit that's going to help your score out of everything, getting it more down the fairway. You're only going to hit that bump and run or even putt off the green anyway. Therefore, getting something that's cheap, affordable, you can lose it. Slice across that golf ball. God, this thing's forgiving. Now we've talked a lot about flight, we've talked a lot about spin, shot shape, but what happens if you just can't find the middle of the face when it comes to, well, the longer clubs? And to be honest, this could be down to the fact that hybrids are quite long, longer than a 4-iron for that matter, and the longer the shaft, the harder naturally it is to find the middle of the face. Hence why my last option could be your answer. I've chosen the Rad Speed for my Cobra 1-length choice, and I'll show you the prices in a minute, mainly because all 1-length hybrids are very similar in terms of technology. But you can see the head design slightly bigger than the PXG, my middleman down there, closer to the Titleist TSI1, but obviously not as big and not as offset. But these are very much love it or hate it. Marmite, I've recommended these in the past, and some clients love them. Thank me to no end, because they can now find a fairway around their short golf course. Others don't necessarily get on with it. It's different, it's upright, it's going to help you not necessarily stand far away from it, lose connection, want to flip that club over and go straight out to the left-hand side. Potentially for that player that does hit it right, this isn't a good combination. But I can guarantee you finding the middle of the face with this, because it's shorter length in shaft and won't give you as much club head speed, but that doesn't matter. You need efficiency, you need ball speed. And to be honest, for the price that I've just showed you there for this club, considering the age for it, it's definitely worth experimenting with, especially if it gives you a bit more confidence off the tee or potentially into those long par 5 in 2 approach. Guys, if you've got any questions on your golf bag or golf game, sasgolfacademy.com. I'll catch you guys later.